Welcome back to the Spizzalock, the series where for every episode I take
Peter,
this shit
what are
a
you
little
doing?
less seriously.
Crack?
Well,
What?
aside from the editing.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck.
If you're new here, this will explain it. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's get right into Saga 4 Leg 15 Pokemon Diamond. I hope you enjoy. We pull up back to Sinnoh after our much needed break we took in Johto. And we picked up our starter. This time we don't actually throw him in the box and we instead name him Brute Root. We watch our tutorial guide, catch a Volbeat, and we add our 4 surviving members of Last Leg to the team. And this time I triple checked to make sure they were accurate. Sorry about last time. Welcome back, Life Jr., Hera the 3rd, Jack the 3rd, and Slicer X the 15th. I thought this team looked super cool personally, and what made things extra sick was that we had 2 starters. Now, as we speed along to the first gym, you'll notice I'm not catching anything. This is because, of course, we were running out of things to catch. Now that we were on our 15th game, we've been through a lot of Pokemon, so many of the routes we run through at this point are completely dead. Meaning we're just holding out with what little we have until we finally make it to Unova. It definitely added an extra layer of challenge though, as the 5 Brave Warriors we had were the only Pokemon we would be able to use until after we beat the first gym. Luckily though, with Brute Root on our side, we were able to dog walk Roark. Oh yeah, and right before this battle even began, Life hit level 14 and evolved into Quilava. You may notice this episode is fast paced, and it's just because we're going to be doing Diamond and Pearl back to back, so I'm trying not to make things too repetitive. After we handle some galactic grunts, we find our first difficult battle of the game, Mars. I send out Hera to try and OHKO with Night Slash, but fail. Luckily though, Plan B activated when Zubat used Toxic, activating our Guts ability and allowing us to KO next turn. However, Perugli's Fake Out stacked with Toxic may have been too much loud for Hera, so I pivot out to Slicer X, who does some damage and drops Perugli's speed. We go to Jack, who uses Tickle, and then finally to Brute Root, who finishes off the poor disabled puss. After mutilating some Geodude, Brute Root had swallowed enough stone to evolve into Grotle. We then catch our first Pokemon of the leg, Lux CDK, the Buizel, which I'm actually really fond of this Buizel because this was the first Pokemon who had its name reserved on the series. All the way back in episode 1 where this guy hopped in, saw me playing yellow, and was like, please name Buizel. Hell yeah, man, this one's for you. They're so loud, dude. Speaking of which, if you want a Pokemon named after you, or just to name a Pokemon on this series at all, drop a comment. It's first come, first serve, and I keep note of who wants what. I mean, obviously. So you're bound to see it here. Although no promises on how far it gets or if we ever end up using it. Anyways, back to blitzing this slow ass game. We catch Raven the Baneri, Windchime the Chingling, and paid a visit to Gardenia. Ooh, ladies and gents, and everything in between. Flame Wheel! Flame Wheel! Flame Wheel! Oh, that didn't work. Oops. Why are you gonna poison sting me? Yo, this gym sucks. I then decide it's time to do our obligatory Slicer X and Jack sealing in order to protect them from the horrors of Sinnoh. I add on Windchime and handle Jupiter by just clicking Flame Wheel repeatedly. We add Raven and Lux CDK and then take a nice stroll down to the next town over. We run into Cyrus or something. I don't know, we kind of fell off after Platinum. Then we pick up Lucy the Chansey and the Duke the Mime Jr. However, along the way on our nice stroll, we run into this double battle here. After taking out their Glameow, I realize their team just keeps getting better, as after their Monferno goes down, Gyarados comes out. Like, who are you guys? After I switch to Windchime and Brute Root, not only do they both do huge damage, they double into my Grotle and kill him. We then also had to sacrifice Windchime in order to secure a KO and save my other team members. It was honestly crazy how out of the blue these deaths felt, and I was really sad as this run would never see the power of Torterra. Sorry, Brute Root. Oh yeah, Windchime too. Badge 3 was coming up, but my chat reminded me how I had talked about shiny hunting or whatever since I fumbled the bag with Sebas. And although I wasn't against the idea, since this isn't like some hardcore Pokemon challenges video and more of a story-driven send-off challenge for vanilla Pokemon games, I decided I would attempt to find a new shiny, but I wanted to try and find a route I'd be most likely to find a shiny that I haven't used yet as an encounter. Then, even though most routes were dead, I decided Krogunk at the Great Marsh wouldn't be a bad idea. But then I discovered it was a terrible idea for quite a few reasons. So I stumbled upon Route 206, where after catching second the Stunky, I realized I had the option of catching both Shiny Stunky and Shiny Bronzor. And if I wasn't repel cheesing, which a lot of the time I wasn't, I would still have the potential chance to get some of these shinies, which I thought were all pretty cool. And so we began the hunt. After 500 encounters though, we had no luck. In preparation for Maylene, we boxed Brute and Windchime for, you know, being dead and all, for Lucy and the Duke, who we evolved into Mr. Mime. Now, I wanted to save as many potential fairies for Gen 6 and beyond since, well, fairy is OP, but not only did I realize I'd most likely just mega spam anyway come Gen 6, but that we needed some psychic power to reliably take care of powerful Pokemon coming our way. Next in our preparations, we robbed the game corner for its items and then evolved Raven, LuxCDK, and Lucy. Feeling a whole lot more confident, I put a metronome on the Duke and challenged Maylene. We set up both screens and then mollywopped Meditite. Machoke came out but got fiddled on a Speedo region and sent back to the ball. Ace Lucario hits the field, and in 2 Psychics, we win badge number 3. We head straight over to Crasher Wake after doing some training with Raven and send her out against Gyarados. We use Thunderbolt, but due to no stab and her abysmal special attack, it took 2 shots to take it down. We then go to Hera, who shows Wake how real wrestling is done. We then meet up with our rival and put him in his place for stopping my Steamroll. We make our way to Fantina next and evolve Life in preparation. And oh boy, this battle was something. We send out Lucy and Clash Minimize with Drifblim. After maxing our evasion, we use Shockwave, which can't miss, and easily KO. Not only was the KO easy, we managed to also burn through her heals. We take the risk to go for the offense on Gengar, who lands a spike, slashing our Shockwaves, and then a crippling poison jab to Lucy. After that, we soon ran out of Shockwaves, making Lucy the world's fastest punching bag. We pivot around to Hera, who gets poisoned, but retaliates with a Swift Night Slash. After using her healing item, I realized staying in may not be the best bet, as a failure to one-shot means death for our hero Hera. So we go to LuxCDK, but Miss Magius used her Observation Hockey and sent out a Magical Leaf, almost killing. We go to Life, who gets confused, so I go straight to Raven, who gets jobbed harder than Vegeta against the main villain of the arc. Realization then strikes me. Although Lucy can't attack Miss Magius couldn't really do much damage at all in return, as it could only use special moves. Pair that with the fact we had plenty of soft-boileds, minimizes, and refresh PP, and that meant we could PP stall Miss Magius until it uses Struggle, and that is exactly what we tried to do. Speeding up through this, I tried my best to make sure to optimize heals without getting too risky, and after a long time, I ran out of PP first. But Miss Magius started to only use Shadow Ball, so I knew it ran out of PP for everything else. After misclicking and struggling like a loser, I go to Raven, who despite her pitiful damage output was able to slowly Thunderbolt her way to our 5th gym badge. We then made our way to my favorite city in Sinnoh, Canalave. Why is it my favorite, you ask? No, looks nice. I'd live there. We meet up with Rorik's dad, and we swept with Life. Dude, I feel like most of these gym battles have just been a total snooze fest, especially compared to Platinum. But in classic Spittles fashion, of course I can't just let this episode be short, so my stream and I settled in with a nice bev, some good music, and went on another shiny safari. While you're here, if you've made it this far, please consider subscribing. I have a big fat playlist of all the previous episodes if you've just been, testing the water to see if, this series is actually any good. And I've been expanding my reaches recently, and I made some other cool videos that I think wouldn't hurt to check out. They're pretty short. After another unsuccessful 500 encounter hunt, we continued our journeys to collect the 7th badge. Enter Candace, the Ice-type gym leader. Candace? More like, Candace Metacham fit on my team? No it cannot. Got him.
Niño llamado Quaxire en el gimnasio de Candice.
Before that happened though, I came back with the milk and reintroduced the long-forgotten Jack and evolved him into Ambipom. We added Second the Skuntank to the team for backup just in case and got to work. After setting up agility and 2 nasty plots, I baton pass over to Life, who just absolutely destroys her precious ice team. Yeah, that's what you get for having a non-ice type buddy. Yo ass is not Slicer X is about to reach level 40, so I give him a slot in the team so he's not just following us around like a weirdo, and we evolve him and head on over to save the world. Little did I know that despite the gyms being pretty bundookie easy, Cyrus actually locks in when it comes to destroying the universe. Making things a little less sexy was the fact Infinity the Diglett, our HM slave, had to tag along to get us here, so we only had 5 Pokemon. On the plus side though, our rival was here to join us. We use Jack to set up life and blaze through the double battle with a little troubles. And then Cyrus summons the God of Time, so of course we have to intervene. We Oko Haunch Crow and almost take down Gyarados, but I get cold feet and decide to switch out to secure Slicer X's life. The Duke powers through the killing jaws of Gyarados to set up a Reflect and pull off a KO with T-Bolt. Weavile's out and the matchup does not go exactly how you'd expect. Is now the time to set up? Honestly, yeah, no, because Brick Break. Brick Break ruins us, so we just have to go to life. Please don't freeze me. Get the fuck up! What the What was that? But we take it out regardless and Crobat is out next. However, our team has been battered to bits, so it's up to life to secure the bag. And through paralysis, he succeeds. With one thing left to do before the league, we ask for the help from a little god of our own. We make our way to the final city before the league, and by God is it ugly. It reminds me of American infrastructure, but I'm not here to talk about the political and environmental state of the world right now and the poison that is the car industry. I'm here for glorified magical cockfights. We lead with the Duke, setting Light Screen, but it seems Volkner had some strats of his own. Using Charge Beam to stack Special Attack and Light Screen to stay healthy, it ends up being a very close call before the Duke finally takes it down. Ambipom is out next. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, I forgot this guy's like barely an electric type gym leader. Were there not enough options for you, bro? It's not like you were assigned the fire type. Come on, lock in. We go to Hera and clap up. From there, Hera does what she does best. Unapologetic ass whooping. After a long, moist, damp, stinky, verb through Victory Road, we all made it out alive. And now that we were here, nothing could stop us from...
The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. The 20-meter pacer test will begin in 30 seconds. Line up at the start. The running speed starts slowly, but gets faster each minute after you hear...
The Duke, I'm sorry I let you down. You were a helpful teammate, better than most. But honestly, it was for the best. Your name is goofy as shit. No, like, literally. And life, thank you for absolutely carrying us last leg. You may have sort of fell off after losing consistent access to Band and Scarf and, you know, Eruption, but for a time, I thought you'd really see the Violet Gates. God, I kind of feel bad about the Weasel, actually. Bro was a day one name suggester, and I kind of fumbled the bag. Hey, boss, if you're watching, comment down below. You get another one on the house. Now, with us right at the gates of freedom from Diamond, let me ask you, the viewer, what did Spizzles do next? A, hop off and stream another game for the night. B, get prepared for the league and battle Cynthia. Or C, shiny hunt. Well, for those of you who picked C, you're wrong! It was actually D, both B and C. As we did one final shiny hunt before going to Pearl, I decided to cut down on my typical 500 encounter spree and go for a solid 250, since I really wanted to beat the game in the same night. And even with repel spoofing, I would go through multiple max repels sometimes before encountering a single Stunky, so I decided to just raw dog Route 206 and see what happens. And on lucky encounter 109, or I guess 1109, we saw something beautiful. 108, 109. Yo! We did it! Alright, get in the netball. We named her Azure. Despite her not being blue on Final Evolution, shut up, and added her as a permanent member to the team. And luckily for me, and especially my viewers' time, I had already perfected my team before the shiny hunt. So after we stuffed this young foal full of high fructose corn syrup, all of our pharmaceuticals, and trained it for war in 10 minutes, we were finally prepared to take on the league. Here's the team. Alright. Slicer X with Zoom Lens, Aqua Jet, Metal Sound, Waterfall, Rock Slide. Jack with Silk Scarf, Double Hit, Nasty Plot, Baton Pass, Agility. Hera with Brick Break, Megahorn, Swords Dance, Night Slash, Fist Plate. Lucy with Light Screen, Healing Wish, Soft Bullet, Stealth Rock, and Light Clay. Snonek with Night Slash, Icy Wind, Fling, and Metal Claw. And then Azure with Bounce, Agility, Megahorn, and Flare Blitz. Oh yeah, I added Weavile because we absolutely needed something for Garchomp. I didn't come this far just to be walled because I forgot a good counter. First up, it was Aaron the Bug-type Master, if you could even call him that. After handling Dustox, Heracross folds our new shiny like a lawn chair, almost sending me into cardiac arrest. But we one-shot in retaliation. From there, Vespiquen and Beautyfly fall to Rock Slides, and after a long struggle, Slicer X gets this beast weak enough for Jack to come in and finish things off. Looks like Jack is warmed up to the idea of combat after all. Next up, it was Bertha's time to get clipped. We taught Jack Grass Knot to easily handle Quagsire, and then we go to Hera for Sudowoodo, taking big damage in the process. We also take down Wishcash, but not wanting to kill Hera and not having a good switch in for EQ, I do a sacrificial switch to Jack. But he lives! I would have gone to Blissey, but I wasn't even sure if it would survive that single attack, as ridiculous as it sounds. Plus, I wanted to try and save Blissey so we could pull off a Healing Wish and possibly clutch up against Cynthia or Lucian. Regardless though, even with Slicer X in the field, we fail to KO and go to Lucy, who also gets pounded by Hippowdon. We end up having to make the tough choice to sacrifice in order to use a Hyper Potion on Jack. But with this opening, we managed to sweep her last two Pokemon with Grass Knot. Losing Lucy was terrible, as she could have been super useful against the Psychic-type mono battle we were about to face, but it needed to be done, and we still had 5 incredible Pokemon for these last 3 battles. Next up was Flint. Much like Volkner, he's barely a leader of any type. He'd sorta just throw shit at you, whatever. We send out Hera, who we taught Swords Dance before battle, and we set up. Rapidash charges the Solar Beam. Little did that Rapidash know. Doing that sold the entire match. We slurp up the Solar Beam in one shot with Brick Break. Night Slash to handle Drift Blim, and we go to Slicer X for a Fire-type attack, but he went for Mach Punch. We then go to Azure, who sorta tanks as we go for Bounce, doing good damage, but not enough. We then go to Jack, who gets Thunder Punched and Flare Blitzed while we set up Agility. It was clear Infernape was set to win the monkey off, so Jack switched out to Hera, who used her newfound speed to blitz the rest of Flint's team. And finally, for the Elite Four, Lucian. The man who we would have had an easier time against had there been a Blissey to defend us from his psychic mind control. But alas, we suck. Luckily, we had Weavile as a plan B. Since we knew he would lead with Dual Screen's Mime, we led with Jack, who Agility Baton passes into Hera. We Swords Dance, they crit T-Bolt, and we get paralyzed. Jesus Christ, they are so loud, guys! Ducklings, stop. Dude, you guys stop? You're so loud. Please. They were just outside too, man. They do not need to be doing. We Swords Dance, they crit T-Bolt, and we get paralyzed. It may not be the best status for this, but it just might work. Our speed was neutralized, and we just had to break through Para. Back to Jack, we Nasty Plot into Weavile, which was kind of useless, and we 2-hit KO Mr. Mime, getting another Para in the process. Forced to switch out due to Metacham, we correctly predict Fire Punch and Azure tanks. We take hefty damage, but we managed to finally secure another KO. But there were still 3 Pokemon left, and my team was already tired and stretched thin. I heal Azure and blitz it till KO to avoid Calm Minds from getting out of control. Slicer X comes out for Girafarig and KOs in a couple of waterfalls, surprisingly almost dying in the scuffle. We finally made it down to the last Pokemon, so it was time we got creative. God damn it. It's Psychic Focus Blast Energy Ball Recover Alakazam against this, so that's awesome. Okay, assuming Energy Ball comes in, and no, it's not. All right, here, fuck it. You will die. No way, dude. No way. Alakazam might strip our team for parts. No, dude. Quite the opposite. Look at the state of our team. With Azure surprising us all, this newbie horsejit may actually stand a chance on the Spizzalock roster. The real question at hand was, could we stand a chance against Cynthia? considering this is what Lucian did to us. There was only one way to find out. Our team felt like it was reaching a new state of normal with its members. Slicer X, Jack, and Hera, battling countless foes together. Maybe sometime soon we could have even a deathless leg. Nah, who am I kidding? With these plays, they all know it's been a suicide mission since the beginning. They're just in it for the once-in-a-lifetime journey. I played some special music for my stream, which I guess I can put here. And after looking over my team one more time, I step on Cynthia's turf and face her head on. Jack comes out against the Spiritomb with no weakness and brushes off a Psychic in order to set agility and baton pass into Hera. We take a super effective Psychic and Swords Dance. It was time. Megahorn connects and it one-shots. Another Megahorn and another KO. Roserade, one shot. Lucario, Brick Break, one shot. Garchomp hits the field. I wanted to switch, but something told me otherwise. I looked at Hera and could tell that no matter what Garchomp could throw at her, she was ready. I go for another risky 85% Megahorn. It connects, and Garchomp, showcasing the reason she's Cynthia's ace, hangs on, but barely. She eats her citrus berry, wipes her mouth, and uses Giga Impact. And at 15 HP, Hera lives. Predicting heal, we Megahorn again. She doesn't heal, and we KO. With only Gastrodon left, we use our one healing item, and despite the 6v1, Gastrodon refuses to go out without a fight. However, all the determination in the world doesn't make up for the fact its Earthquake did loser level damage as Hera flew right on over to her, used Brick Break, and neutralized her, winning us the battle and closing the Diamond Leg with a Heracross sweep. As we walked into the Hall of Fame, we forget not to pay our respects to Lucy, the Pokemon who valiantly sacrificed themselves to keep Jack kicking, as well as to all other members who fell this leg. We had a solid team, a shiny, and we're on our way to closing out Gen 4 and moving on to the Unova region. It's been fun, it's been a good episode. Next leg is gonna suck because we have like no encounters, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.